Have you ever felt completely fine, and then one random song, one sentence, or one memory suddenly hits you and boom? It feels like the pain never left. You pause and think, wait, wasn't I healed already? Yeah. Welcome to emotional wounds reopening, like they pay rent in your heart. Here's the truth. Most people don't tell you. Emotional wounds don't heal the way physical ones do. Not dramatic survival. Emotional survival. So instead of throwing that memory away, your brain files it under. Do not forget. This might protect you later. That's why emotional wounds reopen, because they're not wounds anymore. They're lessons wrapped in feelings. Now here's where it gets interesting. Your brain stores emotional pain differently from normal memories. Facts fade. Feelings don't. You may forget what exactly happened, but your body remembers how it felt. That's why you can be fine for months and then suddenly feel the same tight chest, same heavy silence, same over. It's not because you're weak. It's because your nervous system just recognized a familiar emotional pattern. Let's use a simple example. You burn your hand once. After that, even heat makes you cautious. Not because you're scared, but because your brain learned something. Emotional pain works the same way. Except instead of heat, the trigger could be a tone of voice, a similar situation, someone acting the same way, or even happiness that reminds you of what you lost and suddenly your emotional scar says, "Oh, I remember this." Another big reason emotional wounds reopen, because we confuse distraction with healing. Staying busy helps you cope. It doesn't always help you process. So when life slows down or when something reminds you of the past, the unprocessed emotions quietly return and say, "Hey, you never really dealt with me." Annoying, yes. Normal. Also yes. Here's a slightly funny but painfully real part. You could be laughing with friends, eating food, enjoying life. And then one night, while brushing your teeth, your brain randomly goes, "Hey, remember that thing from years ago?" Why then? Why always at night? Because your brain finally has silence. No noise, no distractions. So it pulls out unfinished emotional files like a bored office worker. Now let's talk about why some wounds reopen again and again. Because closure is rare. Most emotional pain doesn't end with clear answers. People leave without explanations. Situations end without apologies. And your brain hates unfinished stories. So it keeps reopening the wound, not to torture you, but to understand it. One more important truth. Healing doesn't mean never feeling pain again. Healing means the pain doesn't control your choices anymore. Reopening doesn't mean you rebuck to zero. It just means you touched an old layer. Think of emotional healing like an onion. Every time you grow, you peel a layer. Sometimes that layer stings your eyes, and that's okay. The real problem isn't reopening wounds. The problem is judging yourself for it. Saying things like, "Why am I still like this? I should be over this by now." That judgment adds new pain to old pain. So next time an emotional wound reopens, don't panic. Don't shame yourself. Just pause and realize your heart isn't broken again. It's just reminding you of how deeply you once felt. And that ability to feel, that's not a weakness. That's proof you're human.